Hello everyone, I am the storyteller and I am here to help you today. I know you use this video to fall asleep, so before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, where are you from and what time are you watching? Now, get comfortable and relax. A picturesque suburban neighborhood bathed in golden sunlight stands welcoming, with tree-lined streets and a pristine two-story rental home waiting for its new occupants. A moving truck is parked in the driveway as the Marshall family arrives, full of excitement for a fresh start. James, a hard-working father in his 40s, steps out, followed by Lisa, his caring wife in her late 30s, and their two children, Evan, an adventurous 10-year-old, and Sophie, a sweet but quiet 6-year-old. They eagerly begin unpacking their belongings, soaking in the warmth of their new home. Lisa smiles, admiring the spacious living room as she comments that the house feels perfect, as if it was waiting just for them. Evan, ever the jokester, teases his mother, suggesting that maybe the house isn't waiting for them, but rather waiting to consume them. James laughs it off, chiding Evan for watching too many horror movies. That first night, as the family settles into their room, Sophie is awakened by faint whispers emanating from her closet. She wakes up crying, but upon investigation, the closet is empty. The following day, Evan, exploring the attic, stumbles upon an old dusty family photo. However, something is off. The faces of the people in the picture are blurred, as though intentionally erased. Lisa, meanwhile, begins having unsettling dreams every night. She sees a woman screaming, her cries merging with the sight of blood dripping down the walls. As strange occurrences escalate, the family grows uneasy. Doors slam on their own. Sophie speaks of an imaginary friend she calls Mr. Hollow, though her descriptions are unnervingly detailed. Evan starts hearing scratching noises beneath his bed at night, an eerie and persistent sound. One evening, Lisa, driven by a sense of foreboding, ventures into the basement, where she discovers a hidden door concealed behind an old, heavy shelf. Inside, she finds an ancient sealed diary belonging to a woman named Margaret Holloway. The final entry sends a chill down her spine. "They won't let us leave. We belong to them now." Determined to uncover the truth, Lisa delves into town records and is horrified to learn that the Holloway family lived in their home 50 years ago and vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Sophie starts chanting in an unknown language in her sleep, her voice eerily deep and unnatural. Evan begins seeing shadowy figures lurking at the foot of his bed, their hollow eyes staring at him. Even James, the ever-rational skeptic, can no longer deny the supernatural presence when he sees his own reflection in the mirror moving out of sync with his actions. Panic sets in when they try to leave, only to find the front door refuses to open. Windows become unbreakable barriers, trapping them inside. The house has them now. The spirits of the Holloway family manifest in distorted, screaming apparitions, their suffering palpable. Lisa realizes that Mr. Hollow isn't just a figment of Sophie's imagination. He is real, a vengeful entity that consumes families. James desperately attempts to break down the front door, while Lisa, in a final bid for survival, reads passages from Margaret's diary, hoping to sever the entity's hold. As the house shakes violently, Sophie levitates, whispering in a voice not her own. Lisa, in a last-ditch effort, stumbles upon a hidden trapdoor in the basement. Inside, she discovers a skeleton clutching a locket containing the Holloway children's photos. Realizing its significance, she sets it ablaze, breaking the spirit's grip. A deafening, otherworldly scream reverberates through the house before silence falls. The front door swings open, releasing the family from their nightmare. Days later, the Marshalls move out, eager to put the past behind them. As they drive away, Sophie hums a tune, a chilling, familiar melody that Mr. Hollow once sang to her. In the rearview mirror, James catches a glimpse of the house. There, in the attic window, a shadowy figure watches them depart. A howling wind sweeps through the barren landscape as rain hammers against the windshield. The headlights of a lone car cut through the darkness, revealing a decrepit old house perched on the edge of an overgrown property. The driver, Ethan Wells, a 32-year-old documentary filmmaker, grips the wheel tighter as he pulls into the muddy driveway. The house belonged to his late grandfather, a man he barely knew. He had planned and explained, but it hid all of this. And so, with a heavy heart, he gripped the emotion, a man the town whispered about, a man who had died alone. Ethan steps out, his boots sinking into the wet earth. The house looms before him, its windows black and hollow. With a deep breath, he pushes the heavy front door open. It groans like a dying thing, and inside, the air is thick with the scent of damp wood and something else. Something rotten. Ethan sets up his camera, documenting the house for his film. As he moves through the rooms, the floorboards creak beneath his feet. The house seems alive, breathing in the silence. The power is out, and his flashlight casts long, shifting shadows on the peeling wallpaper. Then, footsteps, soft, deliberate, coming from the second floor. He freezes. "Hello?" His voice barely rises above the sound of the storm outside. No answer. Ethan moves toward the staircase, the old wood moaning beneath his weight. At the top, a hallway stretches into darkness. A single door at the end is slightly ajar. A faint tapping comes from within, like fingernails against wood. His pulse pounds as he inches forward. He pushes the door open, revealing a dimly lit room with an old wooden rocking chair facing the window. It creaks slowly back and forth. But there's no one sitting in it. Then the chair stops. Ethan wakes up in the middle of the night to whispers seeping through the walls, words he can't quite understand. The temperature has dropped, his breath visible in the air. The sound of something dragging across the floor echoes from downstairs. He grips his camera and ventures down. The old grandfather clock in the hallway has stopped at exactly 3:13 a.m. The whispers grow louder. He follows them to the parlor, where the fireplace, long dead, suddenly flares to life. A figure stands in the flickering glow. A frail elderly man with hollow eyes and paper-thin skin, dressed in tattered nightclothes. Ethan stumbles back, but the figure doesn't move. Then it speaks. "You shouldn't have come." Ethan stares in shock, unable to speak. The old man tilts his head, his expression vacant yet knowing. "You were warned," he continues, his voice dry as brittle leaves. He doesn't like visitors. Ethan's throat tightens. "Who?" The old man's eyes darken, and the flames in the fireplace flicker wildly. "The one who still lives here." A sudden crash from the hallway makes Ethan whirl around. When he looks back, the old man is gone, the fireplace dead once more. Determined to find answers, Ethan digs through the house's old records, searching for any evidence of his grandfather's past. He finds a box of letters in the attic, faded and brittle. They are all addressed to someone named Samuel. The letters speak of warnings, of strange occurrences in the house, of an unseen presence watching from the shadows. One letter stands out, a final plea from Ethan's grandfather, written in shaky handwriting. He waits in the walls. He feeds on the past. If you find this, leave before he finds you. Ethan's heart pounds as a cold breath touches the back of his neck. He spins around, but the attic is empty. Then he hears it, a slow, dragging sound coming from beneath the floorboards. Panicked, he rips up the old wooden planks, revealing a dark, narrow tunnel leading into the earth. Then the voices grow louder. He rips up the old wooden planks, revealing a dark, narrow tunnel leading into the earth. The air is heavy, thick with decay. Against his better judgment, he climbs down, his camera light flickering as he descends. The tunnel walls are lined with old, tattered photographs, portraits of people with their eyes scratched out. Ethan recognizes some of them from town records, people who had gone missing. His grandfather's name is among them. Then, a whisper, right in his ear. "Run." The tunnel trembles as Ethan turns to flee. A deep guttural growl echoes behind him, and shadows shift unnaturally, twisting and curling like living tendrils. A hand, bony clawed, emerges from the darkness, reaching for him. He scrambles up the ladder, slamming the attic door shut just as something slams against it from below. The house shudders, the walls groaning as if alive. Ethan stumbles down the stairs, his only thought, escape. The front door is locked. He yanks at it, but it won't budge. The windows are sealed shut. Then, from behind him, the old man's voice again, whispering in a sing-song tone. You shouldn't have come. Ethan turns slowly. The old man stands at the base of the staircase, but his face is shifting, melting, twisting into something inhuman. His mouth stretches impossibly wide as the house begins to collapse inward. With a final burst of strength, Ethan throws himself at the door. It bursts open and he tumbles into the wet grass. He scrambles to his feet, running without looking back. As he reaches his car, gasping for breath, he dares one final glance at the house. It's gone. Only a vacant, muddy lot remains. Ethan stares, shaking. Then he sees it. His camera still lying in the grass. He picks it up, hesitates, then plays the last recording. The screen flickers, static. Then, an image. The house, standing tall, as if it had never vanished.